for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
all in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Talking Titans.
Levis towards the end zone. Got a man. Touchdown. Wow. And
It's the 4th TD pass of the day and the debut of Will Levis.
The sickest Tennessee Titans podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Sick Podcast, Talking Titans. I'm joined, as always, by my counterpart, Jarett. Vin should be back soon. He's still overseas living the life.
I don't know what he's doing over there. All he's doing is posting videos and pictures of food down in Italy.
Yeah, he is definitely having a hell of a time, and I'm very envious of him, but he deserves it. He definitely does. But welcome, everybody, into another live show. We have an excellent guest that I don't think we should waste any time bringing in. Obviously, if you're on any avenue of Titans media, you should know this girl right here, part of 104.5 The Zone, Miss Kayla Anderson. Kayla, how are you doing today?
What's up, guys? Good to be joining you.
Great. Well, I know you're probably in an energetic mood after hearing that fantastic intro song.
Were you bobbing your head going to the song?
And now I think I know it word for word. What I will tell you is it's better than the Titans intro to while you're waiting for their live press conferences, because that makes me want to grab through the screen and shake somebody's neck.
Okay.
Oh, that's a positive.
I don't know if that's saying much for our song, but at the same time, we'll take the compliment. But Kayla, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy day to join us for the show. Obviously, let's jump right into it. We had an excellent signing today, at least my humble opinion. We did with the addition of Tyler Boyd. It was a very friendly deal as well. I expected him to maybe get a little bit more than $4 million, but I am not complaining in any way. My first question to you would be, Kayla, with this Tyler Boyd signing, a lot of us Titan fans thought that we maybe see a little bit more of Treylon Burks this year. What do you think this signing says as far as what kind of time we'll see him getting on the field moving forward?
Yeah, and I think it's a really fair question that a lot of people are wondering. And I see even national speculation saying, oh, he's on the way out and, oh, they're going to trade him away. Well, first of all, you can't get much for him right now because he hasn't done much, right? I also think that that's not true. I think he's going to be here this year and he is going to have the opportunity to compete. And if you look at the wide receiver room right now, they have obviously added Calvin Ridley. Now Tyler Boyd today with that going, not official, but it's obviously going to happen. These are all guys that are 29 to 30 years old. And so at some point with this Tyler Boyd deal reportedly being a one-year deal, DeAndre Hopkins is on the last year of his deal. Obviously, Calvin Ridley has a few years here. But that signifies to me that they're still going to give an opportunity to Treylon Burks to show that he can be a guy in the future in this offense because he's 24 years old. And when it comes down to it, if he shows production on any level and shows availability consistently, then I think they could give him a chance to stay around and build upon that. However, you're now filling this room, and I think it's a good thing,
Absolutely.
with great wide receiver talent. And guess what that equals? Competition. And guess what that equals? If you're a true football player and you're a true competitor that belongs in the NFL, then you're going to step your game up. You're going to have to, else you're going to be out of here after this year. And so for me, it's a good thing for Treylon Burks to have this competition, to learn from all three of these pros now. I've heard from so many people over in Cincinnati, too, that Tyler Boyd pretty much taught Jamar Chase and T. Higgins how to be pros in Cincinnati. Like that's some strong words coming from a guy over there who played his role very well in that, slot position, the third receiver on the team, and did his job to the best of his capability. So I just really think it heats up the competition in this room. The Titans have not seen competition in a wide receiver room there in a long time like this. So if I'm Treylon Burks, like the ball's in your basket, your court, whatever you want to say, to make some sort of significant jump this year. And I'm not talking about 900 yards. Like it's going to have to be broken up here with these receivers because they're all going to want to get theirs. And plus Chigakonko, you got to put him in the mix too. So for me, it's just showing improvement. And the biggest thing, guys, is being available, period.
I'm glad you segued into the wide receiver room because that was going right into my next question. It is loaded, especially with veterans now. And if Treylon Burks doesn't really if he works out this year, he is going to be one of the best wide receiver 4s on an NFL roster. So going into this question now, with the loaded wide receiver room, who do you think is going to be the odd man out now? Do you think like a Kyle Phillips now is going to be pushed back to the side for new Quan Jackson from Tulane, NWI? I know we just re-signed him. Do you think he bumps down, possibly gets released or something? How do you see this wide receiver room playing out with the 6 of them?
It's going to be interesting, right? Because it is going to be a situation where we're going to probably have a Titan that has been here for the last couple of years or past few years, if it's an NWI situation, where they might be on the outside looking in, or they might start the season on the practice squad. Now, we all know in that wide receiver room and on the Titans front, just in the last few years, there's been a lot of injuries too. So you always have to have that depth there. We hope that is not the case under this new staff and that we see improvement in that category. But I think it's always smart to have those depth pieces that you kind of trust. And that's where I feel like NWI, is a part of this team just because they've always been able to rely on him. Even this new staff, for them to sign him to a new deal when he was a free agent, I think that says something about NWI and what they think about him. But I really do feel like Kyle Phillips could be the odd man out in this situation for the sheer fact that I like Kyle Phillips, and I think coming out of UCLA, he was a heck of a player. The problem with Kyle Phillips is durability. And I know he's worked hard. He switched out his trainers last year. He tried to do some different things to stay healthy. But the fact of the matter is, guys, sometimes you're just not able to do that in the NFL. Sometimes your body just does not translate to the next level in terms of taking hits and those types of things. And then also special teams. He's had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, and he's fumbled. He's muffed punt. Like he's
literally.
Right? That you can't do if you're going to have that extra piece in terms of, maybe not being utilized as much as a wide receiver, but in special teams. And that's what I think Quan Jackson has been brought in to do. At least that's what they believe his role will be, because Rand Carthon said it. He's going to be utilized a lot on special teams. Well, guess what? That probably means he's going to have a roster spot. So I just feel like at this point, Kyle Phillips could be the odd man out. Now, if he proves himself and he has a great camp and he comes in and he's able to stay healthy, maybe we see something different. But right now, that's going to be my guy that's probably going to not be able to make the roster.
Kayla, we brought up earlier, we mentioned Chigakonkwo, and I wanted to bring up the tight end room because I think that's kind of one of the more under the radar position groups on this team where there's just some serious question marks. Because obviously, we saw some good production out of Chig towards the end of the year. Some could argue it was, during games that really didn't matter. But at the end of the day, as it stands right now, it's pretty much him and Josh Wiley. I still have a little bit of faith in Josh Wiley just based on sheer size and strength. I mean, you got to assume if this guy can get coached right, he can at least be productive. But do you have any idea what their thought process is on that position moving forward? Because if that's their 2 that they're going in with, that's fine and good. But there's a lot of question marks with those 2 guys. And I don't know if that's what they want to enter the season with. What do you think on the tight end position for the Titans moving forward?
Yeah, they clearly didn't feel like they needed to address it much. Obviously, it was overlooked in the draft, and you knew there were available pieces late in the draft in terms of the tight end position. Now, were they the most talented tight ends this season in the draft? No, but there were still pieces there when they had opportunities to possibly, if they felt like they needed to, fill that room up, they could get it in the draft. But I do remember Brian Callahan, when he was asked the question about tight end specifically, he certainly said, we're going to add some guys in terms of training camp and competition. We want there to at least be, 5 to 6 tight ends that are competing in that spot during training camp. So obviously you've got some undrafted free agents that, they're going to bring in. I know the Iowa tight end, we'll see kind of what he can do in terms of competition. We know they breed them up here. He's nowhere on the level of what out of Iowa with a TJ Hawkinson or a George Kittle. They still do a really good job developing guys there. We've seen it with their defensive backs at Iowa and tight ends. So, maybe he can get coached up and be able to compete here. But I do feel like right now you look at Chigakonkwo and you look at Josh Wiley, and you're right. Both of them have things to work on. And Josh Wiley, I feel like the injury thing could be a thing with him too. I think he needs to gain a little bit of weight, but I think he could be a weapon. Like, the guy is extremely talented.
Huge.
Yeah, he's extremely athletic. I mean, damn, I've been saying this, like, I say, like, can we utilize him maybe sometimes, like some plays in the red zone? Like, I just feel like this is a tall guy. Like, I just feel like he has a place on this team. And him and Will, I know in the offseason at least, they're together all the time. So if they can find that connection on the field, that could be a really special thing. In terms of Chigakonkwo, I do feel like last year, guys, because I had a conversation with him, he came in with a lot of expectation, a lot of things on his shoulder. I mean, I was on a podcast on Sirius XM, and the first thing they wanted to talk about was, do we need to draft Chigakonkwo to our fantasy team because we think he's going to explode this year? He had a lot of people talking about him, and he came in and he underperformed. He dropped balls. He was in his damn head.
Yeah.
And when I talked to him mid-season, I said, at what point do you feel like you've been in your head? And he said, yeah, I absolutely have been in my head. And then he slowly started to turn things around towards the end of the season. So you hope he can build off of that, because I really do feel like a lot of it was up here, because we know he's a talented guy and he's very versatile, which could help this team out. So the tight end position is very weird. Like, I don't think we're going to see them. I hope we see them utilized, but with the amount of wide receivers we see now, and then you've got Tajay Spears, and the addition. I've just blanked on his name.
Tony Pollard.
Yeah, Tony Pollard. There's just so much versatility in this offense where you can use guys in different ways. Maybe that's a good thing, because defenses won't know what's coming for them, and you hope they can incorporate the tight ends in that situation too.
Yeah, seriously. And then, like, I think, like, we're done with the free agency wave right now, that we just signed the slot receiver, and we all knew that Tyler Boyd was probably coming. They were going to sign for competition, and he was Brian Callahan's boy. Now that that's over, there's still glaring needs on the defensive side of the ball. Now, whether it's safety, whether it's still linebacker, because I personally and Sal think that position is still weak, and defensive line. Now, I know we got Davidson back yesterday, and someone else, Brown today. I think those are, like, not really like wow, that they're like pieces to fill the roster with, but glaring needs. There's still so many holes on the defense. Do you think they're going to go after like a Marcus May, a Justin Simmons with all that money that they still have left, possibly, and try to give this, like, Will Levis, like, prove it to us? Let's try to go out and win the South. Let's try to get a little playoff push like the Bengals did back in the day in 2019 when they
20, I think it was 20.
Where does time go?
Yeah.
I do. Look, you guys, I've been pushing that safety button for the last few months, and it was a question that was asked before the draft too, and specifically I kind of knew where it was going, because Rand brought up the fact that there are still things that they can do in free agency after the draft. And I just had a feeling like when Jaden Hicks was there, and I'm a little biased because he's a Washington State guy, and he had dropped that far and he was there, I was like, okay, this is a guy that you could add to your safety room. And, they obviously go in a different direction with what they did. And I'm like, they're definitely going to sign someone free agency at some point. The weird thing is you just haven't heard a lot about it in terms of attached to anybody. The biggest attachment that we've heard is Marcus May, formerly of the New Orleans Saints, because he has ties to Denard Wilson. So you automatically want to make that connection, because what this staff has, what at least you've seen from what Brian Callahan and staff are doing, is they're connecting with a lot of their former players, right? There's a lot of familiarity there and comfortability with some of these former players that have been under these assistants. And of course, Brian Callahan bringing over some guys from Cincinnati. So I think they're going to go get a guy. I think maybe the reason why they could be waiting a little is because maybe you do throw a bag at Justin Simmons. Like, he's preferably my pick. Because
everyone's pick.
I know, and I know all of these guys are a little bit older, but they need some experience back there. Amani Hooker's been doing it for a minute, but I think he needs a complementary piece like a Kevin Byard. Him and Kevin were just such a great duo. I'd rather have like a Justin Simmons than a Marcus May, and it looks like with this deal with Tyler Boyd not being as much as we thought, maybe they throw the bag a little bit at Justin Simmons.
Yeah, absolutely. Kayla, one last question, and I know we have to let you go soon. A position I'd say is one that not a lot of people are talking about is the backup quarterback position. Obviously, there's two guys that are likely going to be fighting for that spot in Mason Rudolph and Malik Willis. Kayla, my question to you is, who do you think they give the nod to start preseason off to basically lose the job? Would that be Mason or Malik, if you had to guess?
Yeah, I think it's kind of clear in a weird way that Mason is going to be the backup. And look, Malik could come out and surprise us all. I never want to say it can't happen because weirder things have happened, right?
Yeah.
I just think with what they did specifically with the backup position, they went out and got a guy that truly they felt like could fit what they're wanting to do. If Will Levis goes down, and honestly, if Will Levis can't, or isn't performing up to task, I learned a lot of this in terms of who Mason Rudolph has become, more so obviously as a backup, from my co-host Ramon Foster, who actually played with Mason Rudolph in Pittsburgh. And he said he's really grown up as a player, just learning a lot from what he did, mistake-wise in the past, and just being able to kind of, in certain situations, stick in the pocket. And there's things that I think they've seen too out of him as a backup that they feel comfortable if like let's say he goes down, like I said, they can insert him and he's going to be able to maybe hold it together for the time being. I just don't feel like Malik Willis has taken enough strides in the right direction. Like, he's had opportunities. It's just, I just don't see the fit here, guys. I don't. And I like him. I like him as a person, and maybe somewhere else he could do that in terms of being a backup. I don't think the fit is here.
That Seattle game did it for me when they put him in after Levis. I mean, he looked like he had never played football in his life. So I understand that completely. Yeah.
I was out on him right away when we drafted him. I know you were wanting him so bad, and I said, listen, he left the SEC to go to Liberty. I was like,
Jared, I wanted anyone.
He's not ready for
anyone.
I understand that. Now we got Will.
I would have taken your fucking kid brother.
I know, seriously. Kayla, there's a lot of heat around the Titans with the draft, with Sweat, right? This fan base is crazy, as you know, on Twitter. People go at it all the time, especially with us. Did you like the Sweat pick? And besides the Sweat pick and the Latham pick, do you have a favorite draft pick that the Titans picked?
Yes. Okay, so starting with Devondre Sweat, I'm going to be honest, because I am a person who can be skeptical sometimes. If things in the past have happened, and covering this team for the last 8 seasons, Isaiah Wilson, that story will stick in my mind for the end of time. I don't think I've ever covered a player that was that big of a bust. And there was clearly, all the questions surrounding it being the pandemic year and not being able to interview him in person. There's a lot of things that surrounded maybe that not being the right pick. But I have never seen such a disaster in my life. And that's a guy who came in overweight, who never got into shape, who obviously had off the field issues, and got into more off the field issues here in Nashville. So when that pick was made, I was a little skeptical. But then I decided to sit down and really listen to why, the Titans took him. Because there is one thing Callahan said before the draft when asked about character, and he said, we're not going to instantly judge someone just based on something that happened in the past. And that's fair. I've done a crap load of dumb things when I was a kid, right? I am not a saint at all. And I don't think it's fair for us to just judge, these young men on just one specific incident, or if they were the class clown, a couple of years during their college years. I don't think that's fair. So when I heard that they brought him in immediately for a top 30 visit after his DUI, and then they still weren't satisfied and still believed in this young man so much to fly down. By the way, took Tracy Rocker down with him, the position coach, and Brian Callahan and Rand Carthon, to meet with him and his mom, just so they could maybe feel like they could get the real Devondre Sweat. And then they were like, you know what? We believe in this guy, and we think he can be. It is a bit of a gamble maybe for others on the outside looking in, because they weren't in that house. They didn't sit there with his mom and him. But I do believe in Rand Carthon and Brian Callahan that they are pretty good judges of character, and they know exactly what they want this football team to be. And I don't think they're going to add somebody who they don't think is going to be able to be a player who's going to add something to this team. So I think that, coupled with the fact that Jeffrey Simmons is kind of there not to babysit, but to be a mentor. Damn, Jeffrey came in here with crap. And Jeffrey never has done anything wrong but produce for this team and be a badass leader for this team. So for me, I'm happy with it. And I think he loses a little weight. Maybe he doesn't. I just feel like this guy can develop into something really special. And Jeff needs the damn help. Jeff has been doing things by himself, and it's not fair to Jeff. He doesn't get the respect because he's double teamed, and he's not able to really do anything because he hasn't had a lot of help. So I think this is going to help him out as well. And you saw it with the tweet immediately from him. So I like the pick, guys. I'm excited. This guy's different. He definitely is a personality, but I think that's what you like too. You don't want all these guys that are the same. You want a little spice to this team. You want a little nastiness. I think on the field, he'll add that, while in the locker room, kind of being that jokester and guy that brings some life to the culture here. My favorite pick, guys, Cedric Gray. I mean, for a 4th round pick, when they didn't have a 3rd round pick, I felt like this was a 3rd round pick. This is a guy that, if you study really what he's done, we talked to his linebackers coach at UNC too, and he really had a lot of good things to say about him in terms of just wanting to come back another year and work on some things, and was able to do that. A 3-year, guy who's got a ton of snaps, a 2-time captain, a guy that clearly has this. And I think that pairs nice with the other guy who is a little bit more of the physical guy, right? The guy that they want to let loose. That was not my words. That was Denard Wilson's words. So I really do feel like this guy can come in, and Cedric Gray, and wear the green dot. It might take a minute, but I do think he's going to beat out Dr. Gibby because he's just a better football player. And that was my favorite pick, guys. And I think he's going to be a player that could last a pretty long time on this Titans team.
Yeah, I mean, any guy who has the potential to maybe play 2 positions, usually that's a guy with a lot of upside. So, yeah, I completely agree. Kayla, we're going to let you go today. Obviously, we can't thank you enough for taking the time. You've been a multiple-time guest on the show, and we're honored to have you on as many times as you'll allow us to have you on. So, as always, to everyone that's jumping in today, you can check out Kayla 6 to 10 on 104.5 The Zone. Ramon, Kayla, and Will. I listen to you guys all the time. Absolute excellent show.
Thanks, guys.
I think Will's been doing a great job too since joining in. I've been keeping an eye on him for a while, and he's definitely deserved this shot. So he's doing a hell of a good job as well. But Jarett, anything you want to add before we roll out of here, my friend?
I just always appreciate you, Kayla, for coming on, and great insight as always.
Thanks, guys. Always enjoy it. I love the accents. I just feel like I'm really able to let loose and show the real Kayla because I'm
it.
With some guys.
You almost slipped and said shit. I wanted you to say shit.
I'll say it if I'm allowed to, because that's the thing. I can't do any of that on the morning show because they'll bleep me out and I'll get in trouble.
Oh my God!
They didn't call me the petite sailor in Columbus, Ohio for nothing. That nickname definitely came from somewhere.
Well, trust me, Kayla. Next time you're on, that is absolutely going to be part of my intro for you, the petite sailor, for sure. So
I love it.
I'm going to be writing that down. Kayla, thanks so much, and have a great rest of your night. Appreciate it.
Guys.
Thank you, Kayla.
See you guys.
Right, guys. That was Kayla Anderson, friend of the show. Absolutely excellent what she does, covering our beloved Titans.
She's always awesome.
Yeah, she's great. Absolutely great. We can't thank her enough. Can't thank her enough for joining in. So, yeah, Jarett, I mean, listen, this Boyd signing, I love. I think it puts the final real bow on this offense that, although not incredibly youthful, outside of some pieces on the O-line and, a running back and tight end, very, very talented. And this is a group that should compete every single week if healthy. And it just blows my mind how the NFL still has us in the very bottom tier. Not like I really care, but it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. And it's like guys with microphones that have opinions too. But when you really think about it, we're deep diving into these people. We're talking to Titans reporters. We're fans of the team. These guys don't. They just sporadically look at all 32 and say it. Now we have this team. We have a huge veteran presence that's going to be for Will Levis to throw the football to succeed. So I think that with Will Levis going into year 2 Okay, with that veteran presence, with the running backs in there, this offense is sky's the limit with the nasty defenders and in your face press corners. I'm telling you right now, don't be surprised if we win the South. And I'm not just saying it because I'm a homer or anything. Don't be surprised that we win the South at 10 games and make it to the playoffs.
Listen, it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight regardless.
It may be a fight, but this team, Sal, this is the best wide receiver core we've ever had.
Yeah, we do, but knock on wood, they got to all stay. They all got to stay healthy.
They have to, and knock on wood that the guy behind center, who I was called out saying I wasn't a Levis fan, I wasn't. You're right, I was not a Levis fan at the pick, but now I am because he is my quarterback. I am a Will Levis fan. Okay, he showed me enough. Now he needs to show me year 2 with the weapons that he has around him, and all the workouts we've been seeing, all the tweets that we've been seeing. Let's work. Let's do this. It's got me excited for September. So
I mean, how can you not be, man?
No, got the goosebumps already.
There's, and I can't stress this enough. Yeah, maybe Will Levis isn't going to be fucking Joe Montana and Tom Brady, but he has a competitive edge that only a couple other guys in this league have. And I'm not just saying that. I've seen it with my own eyes. Guys don't just rip their helmet off on the sideline with their veins bulging out of their neck and bear hug their fucking offensive coordinator. That just doesn't always happen in year 1. So these are things that you look at and you just get excited for because, yes, hopefully he's going to have more protection. Yes, hopefully he's going to have a healthy, damn near elite wide receiving core. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins, who's still got it, Calvin Ridley, and now Tyler Boyd, and you throw whoever you want else there in the 4th. If these guys stay upright and stay on the field, I mean, we should be in every game. We should compete with the Chiefs. We should compete with the Bills. Like this isn't a far cry from reality. It is reality. So,
dude, if Treylon Burks, like I said it before, if Treylon Burks is wide receiver 4, and everyone is clicking, and he gets his head on straight, and he's healthy all season, we have the best 1 through 4 wide receiver core in the league. I mean,
with the Boyd signing. With the Boyd signing, I don't give a fuck about Burks anymore. I really don't.
I'm just saying, but he's wide receiver 4. If they want to throw 4 wide,
great.
That's a great 4 wide.
Great 4 wide, but I couldn't give a shit about Burks now. They got Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd is way more productive than Treylon Burks has been in any portion of his career. And you already got Ridley and D-Hop. Now, listen, I'm sure I'll go back on this if there is certain injuries, God forbid, knock on wood, because then that guy's going to be much more important, but like I said, it's a great problem to have when you have a guy like Treylon Burks that was supposed to be a first-round prospect or was a first-round prospect but didn't perform to that ability, and you still have him in year 3 or 4 now.
He's going in 3.
Year 3. Feels like he's been in the league 5 years. That's how disappointing he's been.
Yeah.
But regardless, if he gets his head out of his ass and puts his head in the game, then the sky's the limit, and it's really going to boil down to the success of Latham. If he is the left tackle, then I mean, again, we've seen it 1,000,001 times. We have zero success if we can't keep our quarterback healthy, and he was the most important piece in this puzzle of this offseason. So, assuming that Bill Callahan is going to do what Bill Callahan does and turn him into a perennial Pro Bowler, and Will Levis's blind side is going to be protected up front, good, right, center, you name it. Like I said, this is as good of an offseason as you really can ask for as a Titan fan, honestly. I mean, where are you upset here outside maybe the sweat pick because you got question marks? But I mean, everything we needed, we addressed. Right? And
safety's supposed to be coming up too. And a lot of people are talking about edge too. Yes, it's still a little shaky on the edge, but you got to remember we have Caleb Murphy, who's still there, Rashad Weaver. They may believe in these guys. I'm not sure. Maybe there's going to be a signing here or there, but I still think what they're going to put their all chips on is like what Kayla said. They're going to go either Marcus May or Justin Simmons. But with that $4.5 million deal, maybe Tyler Boyd said, and O'Brien swindled them, say, hey, take less than 5. We're going to go after Justin Simmons, and we're really going to tighten this thing up.
No pun intended.
And try to make a push for this. So,
or maybe they turn Caleb Farley into a safety. How about that? Who knows? Is he still even in town?
Yeah. Can you imagine he breaks out with Wilson this year too? I mean, that's
he ain't breaking out.
I know, but I'm just saying. Just think positive for a second. If he does, yes, but if not, that cornerback room is set too.
I mean, God forgive me, but what that fucking kid's been through, I don't know how anyone is able to succeed after what he went through. I mean, the injuries and not being able to perform, and then what he dealt with, personally with his father. And I mean, it would be an excellent story. It would, but I don't know. I don't think there's anything there, unfortunately, for us. But if he were to move on, that would honestly be the last. Wouldn't that be the last piece of this horrendous John Robinson nightmare that we lived through? Right? I mean, who would be left? Well, no, there's a fair amount left. You still got Burks. You still got Burks. You still got the safety. He was part of
Shad Weaver. Well, a money hooker is good.
He's good. He's good.
Molden, we thought he was going to be another one.
Yeah.
So you got Molden. You got all the cornerbacks, Garger and Trey Avery. I mean, they're great role players and special teams guys. But now we got badasses in Brownlee Jr. You got Caleb Farley if he comes in. You got Snead. You got Awuzie. So I mean, those are cornerbacks that are getting in your face instead of on 3rd and 15, and you're playing 15 yards off the ball. So I mean, no more of that for Titans football. So thank God.
No more throwing on every first fucking down. That ain't happening either. Not with Tyler Boyd, Calvin Ridley, and DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, this should be a pass-first offense. And guess what? Like I said it 1,000,001 times, if you are a pass-first offense and you are successful as a pass-first offense, sky's the limit to the running game. Because you're never going to know when it's going to come. And guess what? Now we have 2 running backs that can also catch the ball, something we haven't had access to in a very long time. We have not been a very check down the running back type team. And guess who does that? Successful teams, Kansas City, Philadelphia, they do that shit all the fucking time. And we got to start doing it. And I think Callahan is going to have that kind of edge to our offense, and he's going to set up, but we need to have him set up. So with that being said, guys, we're going to wrap up for today. As always, I want to appreciate everyone that joined in. We have damn near over 300 people watching live with us today. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend with us talking Titan football. If you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do that. It's a sick podcast, Talking Titans. Also subscribe to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Check us out. Like, comment, subscribe. You know the whole deal, guys. The more support we have from you, the more we're able to put out the best content, get the best guests, etc. So without being said, guys, hope everyone has – oh, Jarrett, I'm sorry, my friend. Floor is yours.
We forgot one thing over here. We got a new IG page, guys, and we're gonna be doing a lot of things later on in the summer and getting into football season. So if you want to check us out too on Instagram, it's the Sick Podcast Titans. So go over there and give us a follow and share the page with your friends and like and do everything for that. So Brand new page.
Yes, everyone that's watching right now, if you have an Instagram account, be kind, go to it and follow us on the Sick Podcast Talking Titans page. And
Titans.
Oh, I'm sorry. Spell it out for me. What is it?
The Sick Podcast Titans.
The Sick Podcast Titans on Instagram. Actually, we got one more thing. How about we throw up that beautiful picture of Tyler Boyd in our new Titans uniform before we roll out? Ain't it a beautiful thing?
Look at how pretty that is.
I love 83 on a receiver. Obviously, it's nostalgic for me, for Mr. Drew Bennett. So if he sticks with that number, that would be sick. I don't know how long his tenure will be here in Nashville, but he's a guy we needed today, and we got him today. And it's going to be fun. And if the rumor is true, did you hear about the rumor week 1 matchup at home, who it's going to be? Are you fucking kidding me? Will Levis versus Aaron Rodgers? Forget it.
Sunday Night Football?
No, it could be any day. It could be any day, any time of the day. You're giving me Levis Rodgers week 1? Nah, I'm not ready for that. I'm not. I hope it is. Just talk about setting the fucking bar high.
On what, Thursday?
Huh?
Yeah, schedule comes out Thursday.
Well, like I said, there's a rumor from that NFL account that just spews out whatever the fuck is even whispered. And it said, rumor, Jets at Titans week 1. Forget it. Anyway, guys, we're going to head out for tonight. Hope everyone had a phenomenal time watching with us. And as always, tighten up. Send me out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Talking Titans on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.